Welcome everyone to Compliments to Embellence Group's annual general meeting in 2022. I will take you through a summary of 2021, first quarter this year, our objectives and strategy. My name is Olle Svensk and I'm the CEO of the group. Embellence Group's annual general meeting this year was carried out through an advanced voting, postal voting only, pursuant to temporary legislation. This presentation is given instead of the speech of the CEO and the CFO that is normally held at the AGM. The agenda. I will take you through 2021, a summary with operational highlights, our sustainability agenda and financial development. I will also take you through Q1 2022 and our objectives and strategy. In short, I can say that Embellence Group is on track towards its long-term target, which is by 2025 our revenue should reach at least 1.2 billion Swedish crowns. In Embellence Group, we are a group that acquire, own and develop strong brands in wallpaper, textile, rugs and adjacent categories. Our mission is to contribute to a more beautiful and more inspiring everyday life. Our vision is to be leading house of brands. Brands is really the fundamental in what we're doing. And we are in interior decoration and we want to drive the development in a changing wallpaper and interior decoration market. We have already today a competitive brand platform with Borås Tapeter being the largest brand and it's our heritage, which is a Swedish classical timeless brand. Then we have Cole & Son, the British Cole & Son, with its passion for design excellence. It's really one of the leaders globally within wallpaper. Italian Wall&decò it's the vibrant brand that became a part of our group in 2018, and they attract architects, designers, consumers around the world. Pappelina, our fourth brand here, that was acquired in the beginning of last year, and that's an international brand in premium plastic rugs. And last but not least, Artscape became a part of our family in March this year, 2022, a leading American brand in pattern-based window films and really the pioneer in the category. As a group, we have more than 100 years in design, craftsmanship, quality and innovation. And there are so many things to talk about here. And just to mention a few is that one of the oldest patents that we have in our portfolio is from 1564. That's Rosenvinge, which is designed and one of Swedish oldest ones. And we relaunched this in 2018 and it's still one of our best sellers. If we look a little bit at what has happened over the last couple of years that is important to mention is 2019 we did the global launch of Cole & Son fabrics based on some of the most sold and loved wallpaper designs. In end in 2020 we launched Cole & Son's business to consumer sales in the City of London, and then last year our acquisition of Pappelina, and this year 2022 in March the acquisition of Artscape. So summarizing 2021 is that we delivered stable growth with strong profitability, according to our promise and what we have communicated. We broadened our offering through acquisitions. We have increased our operational efficiencies and improved our gross margins. We have continued to invest in e-commerce, and our investments are actually more or less in the same level it has been over the last years, but it's more and more in digitalization. Our heritage and strong focus in sustainability has just increased last year, and I will take you through a little bit of that later on. And then March last year, we were listed on the First North Premier Growth Market. Operational highlights then. Yeah, we have broadened our offering over the last years to get a more balanced portfolio. We acquired Pappelina beginning of last year and then Artscape in March this year. And the acquisition of Pappelina then, yeah, it's an international brand within premium plastic rugs. It has more than 60% of the revenue outside Nordics. It was founded in Falun in the north of Sweden, and at the time when we acquired them, it had around 10 full-time employees with a revenue of 45 million Swedish crowns and with a healthy profitability. It has a sustainable production in Sweden without any harmful substances. And we look at the strategic fit, it broadens our product scope, which enables cross-selling. It has, as all our brands, a patent-based portfolio. It has a growing share of business-to-consumer sales with solid and strong gross margins. And by the successful integration of Pappelina, we get more and more knowledge into a new category, and it actually expands our universe for potential mergers and acquisition going forward. Artscape then. It's a leading American brand of patent-based window films. It's artwork for windows. It is, just as Pappelina is in plastic rugs, Artscape is in window films, a premium position brand in a niche markets. It has been profitable since it started a little bit more than 20 years ago and has mainly been focused on the US market or the North American market. Has a very asset-light business model with good profitability and good cash flow. Last year, the sales was around $14 million, and we have around 40 employees based in Portland in Northwest US. The strategic fit then, it continues our growth potential in Americas and gives us a better balance in terms of geography. We see a major potential for the patent-based window film category in Europe, focusing on end consumer. We see attractive design synergies with Boråstapeter, and as mentioned before, Artscape will contribute with strong cash flow and profitability. We also did continued investment in e-commerce last year. We have a strong focus on developing our brand's e-commerce business. And during last year, both Boråstapeter and Cole & Son launched opportunity for e-commerce in its home countries, in Sweden for Boråstapeter and UK for Cole & Son. And in 2022, this year, as we speak, we are opening it up to other markets as well. And we have now published our first sustainability report, and going forward, we'll continue to develop and reinforce it. Last year and this year, it's very much been to cover all the ESG dimension, to start to communicate our carbon footprint for Scope 1 and Scope 2, but also give you some insightful descriptions of the project and profile we have for the different brands. During the coming years, there are 5 key areas that we will focus on. It's around strategy, but also KPIs and targets. On our organization and governments, the processes and the systems and tools, how to measure it, very important work. And then, as I mentioned before, a milestone for us was the listing on First North Premier Growth Market that happened March 24th in 2021. And it gives us access to capital market, supporting our growth ambitions, make us more visible and be easier for us to attract top talents into our company. Financial development then. In summary, the key figures. We reached the revenue last year of close to 647 million Swedish crowns, which is an increase with 13.5%. Our adjusted EBITDA reached 15.4% or 99.9 million Swedish crowns, which is also a strong improvement compared to the previous year. Excluding the revenue generated by Pappelina, our organic growth was 3.9%. And we had the best year ever in terms of profitability. We saw growth across all our 3 geographical segments. In the Nordics, we grew 7.2% with a very good EBITDA of 16%. In Europe, we grew 15.4% with the same level of adjusted EBITDA. And rest of the world, which is still our smallest region, we grew 41% and having an adjusted EBITDA of 12%. Then a bit about Q1 this year, which we published last Friday. We reached a revenue of 184.4 million Swedish crowns, and with an adjusted EBITDA of 17.8%, a very, very strong and profitable start of the year. We continued our profitable growth, having Artscape in the books for 1 month, or close to 1 month, and it gives us a much more balanced business than we had before. We saw a solid uptick in hospitality segment in Europe and rest of the world, and we managed to mitigate the cost inflation by mix improvements and price increases across our brands. In the Nordics, profitability retained despite weaker market demand. In Europe, the larger markets like Italy and Germany and UK showed the way with profitable growth. In the rest of the world, we did have organic growth, but also, of course, a lot of growth coming out of the Artscape acquisition that was completed on March 4th. Objectives and strategy then. We focus on 3 strategic areas. Continue to leverage on premium, as the premium market is expected to outperform the value segment in all the categories we're in. Number 2, we want to have further international growth, and for us that means growth outside of the Nordic region, both organically and through add-on acquisitions. And we want to find companies that complements us with strong brands in a premium or even luxury position. Third part is develop close relationship with customers, consumers, architects and designers through digital innovation. That means investing in digital tools, but also our direct-to-consumer business into new geographies and countries. Our financial targets, we have 3 targets and 1 policy. The first target, as I mentioned before, is to double the size of our business from 2020, which we had 2020, to the year 2025, and reaching 1.2 billion Swedish crowns. The outcome after last year is that we grew up to 647 million, so we are on the right track. Looking at the pro forma, including Artscape, we are right now running around closer to 800, between 750 and 800 million Swedish crowns. We say that we want to have an EBITDA margin of at least 15% over a business cycle. Last year was 13.7. Our leverage should not be above 2.5 over business cycle, and the outcome end of last year is 1.2, so we still have room. And dividend policy is to have a dividend between 30-50% of the profit for the period. And the proposal by the board is to have a dividend of 80 öre or 0.8 Swedish krona per share, which is close to 30%. Thank you.